Welcome to One Little Spice, the Disney food podcast that isn't afraid to send you into the taste lab.
Welcome to episode 16. Wait, this was a signature restaurant? I'm Julie.
And I'm Amy.
And this week we are talking about Artist Point. Good food, but
Something's missing.
is it a signature restaurant? Should it be a signature restaurant? We'll talk about that in a second. Right now, yo, it's time for Amy's Daily Dish. Amy, what's your dish?
Let's dish.
Yay, she got it.
I know, I keep being like, wait a second, what do
What's
I say?
the dish? I don't know, Amy. What is the dish?
What's the dish? Disney has released a list of new or newly refurbished, if that makes sense, food items for the month of August to be found in Disney parks. Here are some highlights. Item 1, exciting news for Disneyland. The River Belle Terrace is now serving breakfast. Yum. Contrary to how it may seem, I do actually love breakfast foods.
Sure.
They feature a few southern skillet dishes served in a small cast iron skillet that would please Rapunzel. Dishes include country biscuits and gravy, Becky Thatcher's fried green tomato, I appreciate the Tom Sawyer reference, a short rib skillet with sunny side up eggs, signature potatoes, onions and peppers, and Texas toast.
That sounds delicious.
And presumably short ribs.
Well, I mean, it's called the short rib skillet, so I would hope that they remember to add the short ribs in it.
For a sweeter take on the skillet breakfast, they have monkey bread made with a sweet bread and pecan butter, candied pecans, powdered sugar, and topped with a lovely swirl of what appears to be whipped cream.
So, they use sweet bread, not sweet breads.
Yes, sweet bread. Sweet
That
breads
S is really important there.
It is. Because if the S is there, it is, instead of being a sweet bread, it's sweetbreads, which is the thalamus gland of a calf, which is a young cow.
Do you want to build a snowman?
They also have a Mickey pancake plate, which I am excited about. I have not seen Mickey-shaped pancakes in the parks or the resorts before.
Mickey-shaped pancakes.
And that's what these appear to be. They appear to be like a hand-poured pancake.
In the shape of a Mickey?
In the shape of a Mickey.
With his face or without his face?
Without his face.
Okay.
Now, my guess is, because it definitely doesn't look like pancake mold pancakes, the image, it's like hand-poured. My guess is they have a dispenser that dispenses 3 dots of pancakes all at once, so that is technically hand-poured, and that's how I would do it if I was Disney and wanted consistency. The Mickey pancakes are a nice alternative to the ever-popular Mickey waffle, because sometimes you want something different, even though the Mickey waffles are amazing.
I wonder if it's the same batter.
Probably not. Because waffle batter and pancake batter are 2 different things. They
I know that.
Yes.
You know that.
But they don't.
I mean, they might.
Waffle
I would
batter
hope.
and pancake batter are 2 different things.
I
Yes,
mean, like, not they. I mean, like, Disney.
it's possible that they use the same base mix and then add the
Proper pancake.
Yeah. They add the liquids to make it more pancakey rather than waffly. Anybody in Disneyland, you want to let us know?
I don't know. My Belgian waffly mix is pretty pancakey.
The down-home Southern breakfast service is a first-come, first-served basis, meaning you cannot make reservations like you're able to do for lunch and dinner, so maybe get there early. If you do check it out, let us know. Item 2, new menu items over at Cocina Cucamonga Mexican Grill in Disney California Adventure. Fish tacos! I love fish tacos, so I find this pretty exciting. The dish features...
You sound so excited.
I am excited! The dish features a soft corn tortilla fish taco with mango habanero sauce and a citrus cabbage slaw.
That sounds amazing.
It's served with sides of cilantro lime rice and black beans. If they added some coconut in there and a shot of tequila on the side, I would think these tacos were made specifically for me, because they sound amazing. Walt Disney World, you need to up your taco game. I'm just saying. And I'm looking at you through this microphone, shaking my head.
Like our awesome churro ice cream sandwich. Would you eat fish tacos with coconut in them? I feel like coconut crusted coconut crusted fish.
Coconut crusted fish, or like coconut lime cilantro rice would work, or something like that. Just coconut involved. Like
Like maybe cooking the rice in coconut milk
Yes.
and then lime and cilantro on it.
Yes, that would be really good.
Let's try that sometime.
Item 3. Now for a dish I think they designed with Julie in mind. We hop over to Walt Disney World to Casey's Corner for their hot diggity dog of the month. This month it is the cheesy dog.
So I'm never going to get to eat these amazing dogs of the month.
Well, at least you'll get to eat the November and December dogs.
I know, but are the November and December dogs just going to be ones that I've already eaten before? I wonder what the December one will be.
We'll find out. It's one of the cheesy dog is one of their all beef hot dogs topped with queso and cheddar and quote unquote seasoned cheese puffs. So Cheetos. The crunchy kind, not the puffy kind. I'm not sure I could eat more than a couple of bites of this because that's a lot of cheese and stuff without having to take a really long nap,
could probably eat it
but it looks tasty.
in like 30 seconds. I would have this
Oh,
thing
I
done.
know. See, I would have a bite and then you'd eat the rest of it. That's how it would work.
So Amy wouldn't fall asleep and I would be full of cheese.
Yes.
Puffs.
On the other side of Cinderella's castle, Pinocchio's village house has a new flatbread of the month.
Ooh, nice.
Bacon mac and cheese flatbread. Simple sounding and a lot of carbs, but I think it will turn into a good seller.
Oh, yeah, mac and cheese on a pizza.
With
Everybody
bacon,
loves that.
yeah. Not far off in the Friars.
Wait, so is that September's or is that August?
We're in August.
Okay.
Not far off in the Friars Nook, they are serving an equally cheesy item, pub tots.
I'm so excited for these. I hope they last forever.
Yes. With beer cheese, bacon, and chives, the tater tots are always a winner, even if Disney likes to call them potato barrels. Another new dish at the Friars Nook are the brat and tots, which is a lovely bratwurst topped with sauerkraut and a side of potato barrels.
I gotta say,
Tots.
Friars Nook, looking at this menu when I was making the list of all the restaurants, all their tots sound delicious. They have buffalo chicken tot and some other ones.
Excellent. Disney's really getting on the tot train.
No, the potato barrel train.
Sorry.
And
Potato
okay,
barrel
I
train.
gotta say, potato barrels were super cute when they added them to Toy Story Land. Ha ha ha, potato barrels, adorable. But why did that need to be adopted in the entire park?
I
Like,
think,
they were like, yay, people know that they're potato barrels now, so we're just gonna call them potato barrels forever.
I think Orida or one of the other places
the one that's
owns
sponsoring them.
tater tots, so they can call something tots, but they can't call it tater tots. So that's the technical term is potato barrels. Item 4, over to Epcot for our next tasty items. The refreshment port.
Our last tasty item.
You are correct. It is our last tasty item.
I read ahead on Amy's news, and she didn't.
I just forgot.
When Julie knows more about Amy's news than Amy does, who wrote it?
There's a lot going on in
It's a
item
lot.
4, okay? The refreshment port has again updated the Stowaway Mary, and the new version remains a classic Bloody Mary made with vodka and some traditional garnishes of pimento stuffed olives, cherry tomato, a jumbo shrimp, and a lovely stalk of celery. I love celery. The unique garnishes in this version is the addition of a smokehouse jerky. It's a Slim Jim. Maybe it's a fancy Slim Jim, but it's a Slim Jim, and I'm not mad because that sounds fun for an early morning Epcot breakfast.
So now I gotta ask, because when they made the topping chicken nuggets,
Yeah.
it didn't have the shrimp on it.
No.
And before the shrimp, it had the coconut shrimp that it used to have, the fried shrimp.
It might have been, I think it was fried shrimp. I think it was nuggets, fried shrimp, not fried shrimp, and now we have a Slim
No,
Jim.
because the most recent one was nuggets, I thought.
No, there was something between nuggets and this. There has been something, because they changed it, because people were like, oh, these nuggets didn't really work out because they were always cold and they weren't hot or something. We have to look up when the refreshment port opens and when it starts serving the Bloody Marys, because I feel like a lot of the...
It probably opens at 11. When
is at 11, but it's possible it could open earlier and serve them earlier. I don't know. We'll find out. Over in the American Pavilion at the Liberty Inn, you can find a foot-long hot dog topped with macaroni and cheese. Like the little brother of the 2-foot-long hot dog briefly sold at Casey's Corner last month.
Aww.
It's like a full-size foot-long hot dog with a full-size foot-long bun, so it's not like
a skinny dog.
Yeah, not a skinny dog with the end sticking off of a regular hot dog bun. Over near Test Track, you can find some tasty and often sought-after filled pretzels. Look for the snack cart selling cream cheese stuffed soft pretzels and jalapeno cheese stuffed soft pretzels and a warm salted caramel stuffed pretzel. The tasty pretzels are not normally found in the same place at once and are often around only for a short time when they start selling them, So go get them while they're still there.
I want to eat all of those.
I do also.
Like, you had me at cream cheese stuffed, but then you went jalapeno stuffed, and then you went salted caramel stuffed.
I know, I want all of them.
I want all of them.
Yes. All right, that is pretty much it for my news right now.
All right, so that means we get to start talking about Artist Point. This is what Disney says about Artist Point. Savor an exceptional menu inspired by the wonders of nature while reveling in stunning waterfront views.
We went at night.
I think we were also in the middle. Maybe during the day it's different.
Yeah, well, they don't have it during the day, but we were there very late. We were there at like a 9 o'clock reservation.
Like at a 5 o'clock reservation, you'd still be able to see outside.
Exactly.
And especially in the summer.
Yep.
Relax in the warm ambiance of a dining room imbued with the spirit of cherished national park lodges. Ornate iron lanterns suspended from tremendous timber columns add to the picturesque charm. Dine inside while admiring panoramic views of Bay Lake and Copper Creek Falls, or retreat to the outdoor terrace and soak in the beauty of Disney's Wilderness Lodge. I think we just went at the wrong time. I'm going to look up pictures. All right, so now we are going to talk about the ambiance.
So, as Disney says, it is imbued with the spirit of national park lodges. I feel like the Disney Wilderness Lodge itself is a very good example of that, national park lodges. It's grand, it's beautiful, it's kind of rustic looking, but at the same time not, like at the same time just awe-inspiring. You go inside the restaurant, or at least when we went, and that all kind of falls apart. It's hard to describe why.
And I think when you walk into the Wilderness Lodge, it's this very, gorgeous, deep coloring, warm tones. Mm-hmm. And then walking into Artist Point, it just kind of felt, washed out. Like, the wood was all, a lighter wood. It wasn't stained at all, and it
wasn't rustic. It was all, fully finished wood, if that makes any sense.
It was sort of, you're supposed to see these giant columns of tree in this restaurant, but it looks like they were trying to make it fancier than the look that they were actually going for.
Yeah, it looks, if they had made the inside of the restaurant, at least from the wood standpoint, look like the wood in the Wilderness Lodge lobby area, center area, I feel like that would have made a significant difference.
And like we talked about last week with Le Cellier, it's very deep wood tones. You walk in, it's very warm, but it's very dark.
Yeah.
It's light enough to see your food, but it's still like a dark atmosphere. And it works for a more signature restaurant.
Yeah. Now, looking at photos, because we wanted to refresh our memory, we have come to the conclusion that
it's going to be a lot nicer during the day.
A lot nicer before the sun goes down. We did have a 9 or 9:30 reservation.
Exactly. So we had a late reservation. The sun was already down. On our travels there, the sun was already down.
Yeah, we took the boat over from Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
And it was just already completely dark.
Yeah, but even before we got onto the boat. And looking at these pictures, you get the view of the resort, and there are even some waterfalls at the resort, and I guess there's, depending on which way you're looking, you see Bay Lake out the other side, and it looks really pretty, and I feel like that adds to the atmosphere. They're very large windows in the place, and I think that's what made it feel really dark for us.
Yeah.
Because all we saw was black coming in.
Yeah,
from there.
we weren't. The nature is not being brought in from outside, which is kind of a hallmark of the national park lodges.
Yeah, and they had paintings on the walls, and they just kind of seemed like really vast paintings
and
of
flat.
Nothing.
Now they're really beautiful paintings.
Absolutely, but
even while we were in there at 9:30 or so at night, I remember looking up and being like, wow, these are really pretty. But what are they doing here?
And I think they're just so large that they seem flat.
Yeah.
If there were a few, but
it's large.
It's vaulted ceilings, so the paintings are all high up.
It's felt kind of like large painting in a small area. Too small to enjoy it, not enough light. But now, as we look and see the beautiful daytime lighting in this restaurant, that might be different. Clearly.
And
Yeah.
As we'll talk about, the food was really good. So
Yes.
I don't have a problem trying here again
No.
for like a 4:30, 5 o'clock
Yeah,
reservation.
like the first reservation they do, just so we can get that full experience.
And it would also be cool to see the lodge during
Yeah.
the day, too.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful there.
It really is. Michael got to stay there.
Oh, it'll
For
be
10
dark. It'll be
days.
dark at 4 o'clock in December, but I was
Yeah.
going to say we should try that for Christmas.
We'll check. We'll look at the thing anyway.
But
yeah,
we should
Michael
at least visit the lodge.
Yeah, Michael got to
Christmas.
stay there for 10 days. 10
Yeah, I don't
whole
want to talk
days.
about it.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
And summer.
Mm-hmm. In summer.
So you get to see light for more of the day.
But yeah, so that's the first thing we would have to say about the ambiance and the atmosphere.
Yeah. And I mean, looking at pictures, they have murals on the wall. They're really pretty. It opens up into... And if you've ever been to the Wilderness Lodge, it is vast. It is overwhelmingly
It's enormous.
large. It's beautiful. And
If-
look, there's Artist Point. I see it.
Yay. If I have my Disney resort timeline straight in my head, it was one of the earlier, not like the earliest, but one of the earlier resorts built, not like the first one, because I believe the campground was there from the beginning, and, you know, it went over well, so they're like, here, we'll build a giant resort right next to it, and so they went big because they didn't know they were going to build how many resorts, you know? Have you ever...
And I mean, Disney World in Florida, like, they have a lot of room to build. So if
Yeah.
they wanted to build even another ginormous resort, they have the space to do it.
Side note, they are building another fun giant resort on the other side of Fort Wilderness Campground, where River Country used to be. So, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, River Country was the original Disney water park. It ran until, I want to say, like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, it was around for quite a while.
Yeah, it was around for quite a while, and they finally just like very quietly closed it because
Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach.
Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon were more interesting. River Country was more of a old school, old-fashioned watering hole with a few water slides, and one that was very dangerous if you look at it. We'll post a photo of that slide because it's a little shocking when you look at it in today's slide economy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean the economy, but I mean just like if you look
I
at this
understand.
slide and compare it to another, I don't know.
We'll compare it to the one at Blizzard Beach.
Slides are technically part of my business. I just refuse to sell them because they're horribly unsafe.
So they're building another resort where that was.
Yeah, it's probably, I think it's going to be at least partially another one of those like Disney Vacation Club heavy resorts. So instead of adding like a big
So I'm
chunk.
going to say a thing, and you're going to get really mad at me for this thing that I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
When my car's paid off, my next purchase is going to be Disney Vacation Club. And you're going to reap the benefits of it, so you don't need to complain.
as
but
long as I don't have to buy a Disney Vacation Club myself. The trick is with that is you have to pick your resort carefully. Now,
I think
it's-
I would pick Wilderness Lodge.
I was gonna say I would say probably Wilderness Lodge, but you have to pick your resort carefully and the number of points you get. Now,
Yes. So she started
Coronado-
with 200 points.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I need that many, depending on the resort that I want to stay
Yeah.
at.
Now, thing to keep in mind.
Because the thing is, too, we can also, like, whatever, use our, like, go stay at All-Star Sports
Yeah.
and just do a long weekend at
Yeah.
a fancy place
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah, exactly. And also keep in mind that not that you necessarily want this unless it ends up being a really good deal as your home resort, but the part of what they're building with the Coronado is
But maybe if I get in on the ground
Yeah.
floor,
Yeah.
they'll offer a better discount
Yeah.
because it's new.
the trick is we want to,
But I still got another 2 years.
yeah, we want to.
We got plenty of planning.
Yeah, they'll have all this built by then. You want to have your home resort be a place you actually want to stay.
Exactly.
Because you can book
get
their
higher
way
quality.
You can book their way ahead compared to where you can book everywhere else.
Yeah. So I think my biggest issue with Artist Point is Wilderness Lodge is you walk into their lobby and it's 5 stories and it's all the balconies looking out into this lobby and it's just enormous. Like the enormity of this lobby, especially when they put a tree in it in Christmas because that tree is 5 stories high.
see the tree.
I know, it's gonna be so awesome.
Okay, so we'll talk about it later.
Well, side note, we booked a Christmas trip
Yes, we booked
for
a Christmas
2 weeks
trip.
before Christmas.
Yes,
So we can do the Christmas party and talk about it with you.
Yes.
because our December month is going to be Treat Yourself month.
Treat yourself.
We're very excited to talk about all the things that we treated ourselves with so far in Disney. So far. And you just feel so tiny. And then you go into this lobby and you feel so small. And it's just so grandiose. And then you think you're going to get a similar experience in the Artist Point because it's the signature restaurant of this grandiose resort. And it just wasn't as breathtakingly beautiful. And it wasn't as shocking, I guess, as walking into the lobby. That's not the word I'm looking for.
I would have to look up when they actually opened Artist Point and if there was anything before that. But it almost, walking, like as Julie said that, walking into it, you almost feel like it was an afterthought. Like, they were thinking, okay,
like,
we need
no, we have this crazy, beautiful, amazing resort. Oh, we should probably put a signature restaurant in here.
Yeah. It was sort of like, oh, hey, we have some space. Maybe we can move this a little bit and it'll vault the ceilings up. Okay, great.
Whereas the Grand Floridian has 3 signature restaurants.
Yes. Why am I only thinking of 2?
Narcoossee's, Citricos, Victoria and Albert's.
Narcoossee's is located outside the main resort,
but
in
it's
its own
still
little giant gazebo type shaped
so
building.
It may have been built afterward. But
yes. Well, no,
I feel like that's something that they could have done with Artist Point.
Yes.
Like they could have made Artist Point this cabin. Off of the Wilderness Lodge. They have plenty of room. It could have even been like some of the, I don't want to call them pagodas, the bungalows at the Polynesian were built in the lake. I mean, it's a man-made lake. Actually, I don't think Bay Lake is. I think Bay Lake is actually a lake.
It is.
A real one.
Look it up.
I know that the Seven Seas... Is the Seven Seas Lagoon the one in Epcot? Because I feel like that's the one that you take the boat from back and forth between. And I know we talked about this in the last episode, but I don't know if we're right or not. If you remember on one of our last episodes, we talked about the Seven Seas Lagoon that was in Epcot. The Seven Seas Lagoon exists. It's the one where all the boats come and where the ferry takes you from the transportation center over to Magic Kingdom. And the one that's actually in the middle of Epcot is the World Showcase Lagoon. World Showcase Lagoon. The little kids really did pour water into it from the different countries. But... Yeah. Oh, no, maybe they did.
Well, no, they either poured, I'll have to check.
They poured the water into the Seven Seas Lagoon. That makes sense.
Well, they poured the water either into the showcase or they poured it into the fountain. I can't remember, but little kids from all over the world came together at the opening of Epcot.
The fountain in Future World?
Yes.
I have a fun fact about the fountain in Future World.
Tell me about the fun fact about the Future World fountain.
Once upon a time, NSYNC did this Disney show where they played a concert in Disney. And then it was on the Disney Channel, and I watched it and rewound it and watched it and rewound it, kind of like I did with The Lion King. And they performed on the stage in front of the fountain.
I actually remember that. I only watched it once.
I remember there was the scene where Justin goes on to Mission Space, and what he said there was just my favorite thing that he has ever said. And I had it memorized, and then I accidentally recorded over it. And of course, the only part that, and children these days, you won't understand the immensity and the tragedy that is recording over a VHS tape that you've recorded. But yeah, so I recorded over him saying that, and it was the worst day of my life when I was like 10.
I was going to start singing an NSYNC song, but I don't.
It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. When we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain. With or without you. I still know the dance to that.
Yes. I never did, but see, I don't have a very good track record for knowing which songs Backstreet Boys wrote or which songs NSYNC. So I didn't want to
start Amy, singing. Start singing an NSYNC song. I want to know if it's a Backstreet Boys song.
I have to think what it was because you just started singing and you got it out of my head. Oh, I don't care who
Backstreet Boys.
See, I knew. That's why I didn't start singing it because I don't know who the heck's that song.
Backstreet Boys did not do a Disney concert. They were not that cool. No. Although I do love the Backstreet Boys. Yes.
Okay, back to Artist Point.
So, to summarize the atmosphere, we are very underwhelmed.
Yes.
After being very overwhelmed.
Yes.
with the Wilderness Lodge.
Potentially, based on the photos we've been looking at, it's beautiful and amazing, and clearly we have to
During the
go
day.
there again. Not at 9:30 at night when you can't enjoy the beauty and majesty that is the wilderness.
And I think they don't have that much lighting at night, or that much lighting, because they count on the ginormous windows
Yes.
casting in the sunlight. So we are going to talk about the menu now, because
That part's delicious.
so delicious. It was so good. It was so good. And we had a red wine reduction with it. I think that's... Red wine reductions are just magical in anything that we have. We talked about that last week too. Appetizers. Let's start with what we had. We had what's called on the menu artisan cheeses, but it was the cheese plate. And I kind of wish we splurged and got... Well, now we can get the charcuterie the next time we go.
Yes, because
Perfect.
clearly we need to go now.
So the description for this says handcrafted breads and seasonal accompaniments. So it was a cheese plate with some accompaniments. Had we known we were doing this podcast when we ate there, I would have taken a picture of the cheeses because... Not the cheeses, but there's a description of each cheeses that came with it. I wonder if we have this.
Well, it's actually in the background of the picture, but
I know,
it's
but we
not
can't see it.
clear
That's what
enough.
I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not clear enough. You might
I
have
bet
it
I
somewhere.
probably still have this somewhere.
We will look for it.
We'll find it, and if we find it, we'll post it for you.
Yeah, it may be months from now, but if we find it, we'll post it.
And looking at this table setting too, like the light's actually really cool.
Yeah.
The bread, I remember the bread in the little
Wooden
bread box.
And you can
was
see
delicious.
The rock there is actually
Oh, that's what was holding,
that was holding
the cheeses.
the cheese menu, so to say.
And the cheese came on this really fun wooden block.
I feel like it was a sushi platter in the rest of the
Yeah.
restaurant industry. Is that
Yep.
what it would be used for?
Yep, really pretty. So there are a couple of like toast. There was like a bread toast, and then
Some flatbread.
there
like
was a
Crostini's
flatbread. Yeah, and then this right here was that was I'm pointing towards the other end, the dark thing.
That was like it's like a, to me, I feel like the way I would describe it is a savory biscotti.
No, it wasn't hard.
I thought it was hard.
It was like a
Oh,
fig-
it's a fig. It's like a
Yeah.
fig loaf.
Yeah, but that's not what it's called. It's not called a loaf. It comes in a big circle and it's cut into triangles. I don't know what
Yeah.
it's called either. Anyway, so there was this delicious fig cake.
That's what it is. The
There we
fig
go.
and nut cake.
So it was a fig and nut cake, and I think it was almonds in it or hazelnuts. It was really good.
Yes.
And there was a couple hard cheeses. I think there was a parm. That's what this middle
Yeah,
one
that
kind of looks like. The
definitely
crumbly.
looks like a parm next to the honeycomb.
And I am not a super huge fan of honey in life, but when it comes in a honeycomb, sunflower honey is super delicious too. We had that at work the other day paired with some cheeses, and honey paired with cheese is just so perfect because a lot of times cheese can be really salty, and it's such a good contrast because it's not overly sweet, but it's sweet enough to bring out the extra flavors, like the underlying tones of the cheese, aside from the salt. And then there were apricots at the end.
I think those were like a cherry, like a choke cherry, like a yellow type of cherry.
And so there were 5 cheeses. There was a blue, a parm. That was some sort of soft sheep's cheese, I think.
yeah, so like a goat cheese, but sheep. Currently,
Did
they
you
only
say a goat cheese, but sheep?
yes, similar in consistency is what I meant.
Do you know how many different types of goat cheese I have at my store? And some of them are really
like
hard
a
cheeses.
chevre, but made from sheep.
There we go.
Right now on the online menu, they are only showing 4 cheeses
Where are you seeing this?
on the online menu.
Oh, there was a goat, a sheep, a cow, and a blue. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really awesome. Maybe that was the goat then.
Could be.
Yeah, it was a little harder, but I've had hard goat. And it was delicious. But yeah, we got 5 cheeses. And
A lot of great accompaniments.
it was super delicious. It was a great way to start the meal.
Yeah.
And this meal was insanely delicious. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, the food
The
was
food
good.
was phenomenal. We were just disappointed in the atmosphere. Okay,
Good.
so let's actually talk about the rest of the appetizers now that we've talked about what we had. So we had that. And then they also have a charcuterie plate, which is butcher's meat, pickles, mustards, preserves, and lardo toast. And the meats that they had on the charcuterie plate are wild boar roulets. Again, why didn't we get both? Berkshire prosciutto,
I don't think they had a charcuterie plate at the time because
We probably would have picked that over the cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, we absolutely would have.
because it's kind of known for like meats. So.
Yep. Cheshire pork
Saucisson.
saucis, whatever. What Amy said. Say it again.
Saucisson.
Saucisson is a rustic preparation of free-range hogs. Here we accent with notes of thyme, mustard, and floral peppercorns. That sounds delicious.
It does. Cheshire pork ballatine.
What?
Cheshire pork ballatine.
Ballatine?
Ballatine. One of the two. You pick and let us know.
Ballatine, yeah, something. Anyway, here, pork shoulder and loin cuts, accentuated with notes of cinnamon, ginger, coriander, and the sweetness of apricots. Oh, these all sound so delicious. Those are 2 sausages, right? That's what those are going to be.
Yes, I believe so. That's what saucisson is, and it's saucisse, but I'm assuming it's just saucisse.
And
just saucisson.
ballatine sounds like a baton of pork.
So
So the next thing is the ahi tuna tataki, which is rice, avocado, daikon, nori, soy, and a Thai chili aioli.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds super delicious.
I'm positive they didn't have any
They definitely
raw
did
tuna
not have
on
that.
the menu then.
I think they had a seared tuna.
They might have had a seared tuna, but everyone was doing seared tuna at that
Exactly.
point. So it was
we didn't get it because
they put a little something on the outside, they sear it, they slice it, they send it to you with a seafood salad.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how they were doing it at the time.
And they definitely did not have this next one on the menu because we definitely would have ordered these 2. Hand-harvested oysters, ramp mignonette, wood oil, celery, and sorrel.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell them a story about how the first time I ever had an oyster?
Please do.
So once upon a time, I got a tattoo on my
Oh
foot.
my god, as soon as you said this, I knew this was a story.
And Amy and I had plans to see Eclipse. Yes, a Twilight movie. And I made t-shirts for us.
We both made t-shirts together. I still have that t-shirt.
We did make t-shirts together. I finished mine at home.
Yes.
That's why. So, Amy goes to Legal Seafood.
Which is a East Coast seafood restaurant.
And is waiting there for me. And I'm like, I'll be there at this time. And then I apparently misjudged how far away the tattoo place was. And it took a little bit longer. And I was like, Amy, I'll be there. And then it took even longer. So Amy was sitting at this restaurant for probably an hour.
Yes.
By herself.
With
without
the Twilight
me.
book.
Amy's sitting there, and they all think Amy got stood up, so they're all being really nice to her, and they feel really bad. And an hour and a half later, I show up. Amy has saved me an oyster. Super nice of her to do that. And it was the first time I ever had an oyster, and it was amazing, but I felt super horrible that I left Amy there all alone.
I remember you got there, and I'm like, okay, order something, anything. We have time before the movie. I was like...
We saw that in the only premiere theater that AMC had at the time.
Yes.
And got free popcorn. Yeah, I feel like they didn't have half of these appetizers when we were there.
No, they did not. But back to the appetizers.
Venison tartare, lemon, elderberries, farm egg yolk, sunchoke chips, and tarragon aioli. Tarragon aioli sounds magical.
Yeah. Elderberries have very recently come into popularity, so yeah, that's definitely a new...
Absolutely.
And that's where the venison went. Wait, no, we didn't have venison.
Nope, we had bison.
We had bison.
And then the steamed mussels are served in a tomato broth with kalamata, olives, huile d'olive.
That's French for olive oil.
Olive oil, and artisan breads.
I don't know if I like the idea, like the sound of those mussels.
No, so Kalamata olives have a very strong flavor in and of themselves. And a tomato broth, if it's a light tomato broth, would be a good addition to steamed mussels, but all of that just seems like it would overpower the taste of the mussels.
Yeah, and I like mussels.
So the next is soups and salads. Ooh. See, now smoked mushroom bisque. That's what I think the gray stuff would be.
Yes. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. It's probably a mushroom
And it's a soup. When he puts it in front of her and he says, try the gray stuff, it's delicious, it's a soup, and she doesn't get to try it. So they have a romaine salad. It is Caesar dressing, guanciale,
I'm going to go with that, yeah.
cojita cheese, amaranth seed, and cubeb pepper.
Sounds tasty.
The land green salad is next. Florida peaches, radishes, seed granola, goat's milk cheese, and peach vinaigrette.
Now, if I was to pick between those two salads...
I'd probably go with the land green.
Yeah. And if I had to pick between all of those three things, I would pick the mushroom bisque.
And then they have a smoked mushroom bisque, which we talked about for 30 seconds while we were talking about the gray stuff and how delicious it is. Mm-hmm. And it has nettle, pistou, sunflower seeds, and salsify.
Salsify is part of the sunflower family and is cultivated as a root vegetable in the same way that purple salsify is also cultivated as a root vegetable and in the sunflower family. Thanks, Wikipedia.
Thanks, Wikipedia. You're awesome. It's a root vegetable.
Yeah.
In the sunflower family.
Yeah. It has black skin and white internal flesh.
They have a butcher's cut menu, which is several... Ooh. This steak for two sounds so much better than the steak for two at Le Cellier. Sorry, Le Cellier. So the butcher's cuts are a 7-ounce filet mignon.
I like it.
With choice of house sides. We'll talk about that after we talk about the butcher's cuts. The 8-ounce hanger steak. The 14-ounce Berkshire pork porterhouse. And the 32-ounce aged bone-in ribeye for two.
Da rule.
That's what we should get.
Yeah.
So the house sides are roasted pea-wee potatoes with cultured elderflower butter, local mashed potatoes with butter and cow's milk, crispy Brussels sprouts with fermented bean vinaigrette, roasted cauliflower with cider sultanas and pepitas, and macaroni and cheese with a Cheshire pork confit.
Yum.
Yum.
When we went, the side that I know I got was Romanesco.
I definitely got that too. I don't think there were side options then.
No,
I think it was just that was part of...
That was like their seasonal vegetable. So I could not, for the life of me, remember what the name of Romanesco was. So I looked it up. The only way I knew I'd find it, pointy cauliflower.
I don't know that we actually have a picture of these, but we'll show you a picture of what they look like.
Yes.
Because I don't think we actually took a very close-up picture of it on our plate.
It could be known as a broccoli or a cauliflower, depending on the area of the world, but visually it's definitely a greenish, pointy cauliflower.
So for the entrees, there is a slow-braised venison ossobuco with cauliflower crushed potato, carrot, wilted greens, and spring turnip, a cedar plank Schooner Bay salmon with wheat berries, garden squash, frisee, blood orange, ramp, and fine herbs.
So that answers a question I've had recently. Is cedar plank salmon still a thing?
Yeah, we sell it at Wegmans too.
Yeah. Oh no, it's very good, but I feel like it was really, really, really popular a few years ago.
Farm egg
Pappardelle.
pappardelle, duck ragu, English peas, dandelion greens, and aged cow's milk cheese.
Sounds like a really good pasta dish.
Half roast chicken, new potatoes, lardons, grain mustard, roasted cabbage, spring greens, and jus. Again, what is with this chicken jus?
It is weird.
Like, why wouldn't they just call it a chicken gravy? I'm just saying. Seared diver sea scallops with jasmine rice, mung beans, daikon, braised shiitakes, and mizuna. That sounds pretty good. And the wild halibut paella for two sounds to die for as well, but we couldn't order this because it would kill Amy.
Yep.
Clams, mussels, bay scallops, Carolina gold rice, pigeon peas, and baby fennel.
And I'm not getting ill over bay scallops. If I'm getting ill, I'm having sea scallops.
True, unless they're Canadian bay scallops, and then they're sea scallops.
And then there's sea scallops.
As we discussed last episode.
So something I just noticed. No vegetarian options. Has a duck ragu.
Oh.
No vegetarian options. I wonder if the vegetarian options are on the allergy friendly menu or something like that. You know what I mean? Or
That's
they have an allergen
very
menu.
strange. Maybe they're assuming that the duck ragu is...
Disney knows better than that. We all anybody who has a food allergy and goes to Disney knows that Disney knows better than that.
Interesting. So the enhancements that you can add to these meals, and I really wish they had these when we got ours, because I would love a roasted bone marrow.
And horseradish sauce.
No, just the roasted bone marrow accompanying my bison.
Anything, yeah.
So roasted bone marrow is an option. Charred shishito peppers. Point raised blue cheese. It's just a type of blue cheese.
Horseradish sauce.
And chimichurri. Yum. So what Amy and I had was the bison. And I think what turned me off about this was it was sliced in half.
Yeah, let me pull up the picture.
It was cooked perfectly. rare, just like we like it.
Yes, it was actually very beautifully rare.
It was done very well. Nice char on the outside, perfectly rare on the inside. It had the little, what are those pasta called?
I think the reason that they cut it in half was to make sure it is properly cooked. Because if you cut it in half and it's not, you throw another piece on there and there you go.
So this was served with campanelle pasta. I think it was just kind of like a butter sauce on it.
Yeah, there
But
is some sort of topping on top.
It
There
looks
is some sort
like
of topping
some
on
onions.
top of the pasta. Yeah, you're right. If you bring it up real close, it looks like
Almost
a
like pickled
fried
onion.
shallot.
Yeah. Ooh, it was probably shallots. You're right.
Fried shallot.
And not like fried, crispy fried, but like pan-seared
Yeah.
fried. And then some sprigs of, I want to say microgreens, but those don't look very micro.
Yeah, I feel like they're like
just
microgreens
a
were
garnish.
super a garnish, but I feel like microgreens were super popular, and you can see the Romanesco in the background of
Yeah.
the photo, and the delicious red wine reduction, and some beautiful inlay work on the tables.
And it also had the Romanesco and a red wine reduction, and it was just done so beautifully and so well. And we'll send you a picture because it was super delicious. We'll send you a picture. We'll show you a picture. So next, the Taste of the Pacific is their 5-course meal.
Which
It-
was not there when we went.
It definitely wasn't, because I feel like we would have chosen that over. We would
Yeah,
pay
we
the
would
extra
have.
little money for that. It says, indulge the senses in a 5-course Pacific tasting showcasing our Pacific-inspired cuisine. Start the evening off with a toast of champagne and end the evening with one of our sweet decadent desserts. It doesn't really give much more information than that. They also changed up their desserts, but both of what we got are still on there. Well, sort of. I mean, it definitely had gooseberries, but it
Yes.
did not have matcha on it,
Cape
or peaches.
gooseberries. I
Did
believe
it have
that's what they're
peaches?
called.
No.
Cape gooseberries. The ones with the
It just
husks.
says gooseberries.
I know,
in
but
the
the one in the picture has a husk, so it would
Yeah.
be a Cape gooseberry.
So the desserts are an almond butter cookies
With an
with
orange
creamsicle
milkshake. I've seen pictures of some version of this that they have, and they have a little tiny glass milk bottle with a little tiny paper, like spirally colored paper straw sticking out of it.
of the milkshake.
Yeah, for the milkshake.
And most of it's like the cookie.
Yeah, and then the cookies. It goes with the cookies.
Warm donuts. What?
I
With
remember those there too.
Roasted banana anglaise and blooms.
I
It
remember.
was not topped this way though, because that's what I definitely would have got.
Yeah, I
Actually, I think
remember-
I was still on my creme brulee kick, so I think
Yes.
that's why I got the creme brulee.
Yeah, I remember the warm donuts. I wasn't impressed with the idea.
And then the dark chocolate cremeux, espresso, lingonberry, and chocolate soup.
That sounds really tasty.
It does sound good. I got the vanilla bean creme brulee.
And I got the seasonal cobbler.
And the creme brulee was delicious because you can't screw up creme brulee, but when you're Disney, you can't screw up creme brulee.
And the cobbler was delicious.
And it was blueberry.
You can screw up the cobbler,
But it was
but
really good
it
cobbler.
was really good.
And I remember the ice cream was the berry ice cream, and it was delicious.
Yes. And I know cobbler because I did my food history report on cobbler.
Next, we have the kids' appetizers, which are a mixed green salad or seasonal fruit.
Not bad.
Maybe they're talking about, maybe they just assume that the salads wouldn't be enough for a full meal. I'm just trying to think vegetarian option. And seasonal fruit is also a kid's appetizer. The Disney check meals are a grilled chicken breast with land greens, pears, celery, and seasonal fruit.
I wonder if quote unquote land greens means they are greens from the Living with the Land, the hydroponic gardens.
I can't imagine what other greens they would be. Most greens are from the land, like the earth.
Well, I'm just saying, I wonder
Oh,
if
I know,
that's
that
what
would
they
make
mean.
sense, yeah. That's what I mean, like, because most greens are, unless it's seaweed, are from the land. So roasted cedar plank salmon is the next one with frigola pasta, tomatoes, arugula, #arugula, and seasonal fruit. Now, I'm very excited that a kid's meal has arugula, because kids should learn to love arugula from the start. Now, what's the difference? What? Okay, so this doesn't make any sense to me, because for the kids' meals, there's also the chicken breast and the roasted cedar plank. Oh, they come with different. The salmon doesn't, but the grilled chicken that's not on the Disney check meal menu is served with roasted potatoes and petite vegetables, which also seems pretty well-rounded as well, but whatever. The pasta with marinara sauce, and then a petite steak with roasted potatoes and petite vegetables.
This is a really good overall selection of kids' menu options.
I think it's very well-rounded. You get chicken, you get a pasta, you get a steak, you get a fish.
It's cedar plank salmon. It's not just like, here's the piece of fish we cooked for your kid. It's, here's a nice piece of fish.
Well, I would hope so. It's a signature restaurant.
I know, but it's, you know.
I know. And then the kids' dessert is an artist palette.
With a cupcake.
So it's probably like a kid's decorating a cupcake.
A lot of times at the signature restaurants, they'll do that for the kids' dessert. I've found when I've looked at menus.
They had one at Cinderella's Castle.
Yeah, it gives you a something for them to do, I guess.
So now we will go on to the drinks, and for drinks there's a few specialty cocktails, so we'll go over those, and then there's just, some wines.
I believe we got red wine.
We got red wine to pair with it.
And it was a very nice
We got the red wine that was recommended to pair with the bison at the time too, which paired very well, if I remember correctly. I think it paired very well with the cheeses too, which was nice.
Yes.
And my dessert. And your dessert.
Everything.
Yeah. So the specialty cocktails are a raspberry rapids, which is a frozen coconut cream and pineapple juice with Myers, platinum rum, and Chambord, which seems like something that Amy would like.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm very interested in this cocktail, but I can't see myself ordering that cocktail as described at a signature restaurant. At least not with
it
this
seems
type
more
of
like
atmosphere.
a tropical drink.
And it has coconut cream in it, and you generally don't...
Frozen coconut cream.
Yes, frozen coconut cream.
It almost seems like a fruity mudslide.
Yeah.
Like a tropical mudslide.
Like, clearly we'll probably have, if they have it, we'll probably have to
Obviously.
get it anyways.
But yeah, it's not what I would think of to order at a signature restaurant.
Yeah, that's just like a note I had to make. Continue.
And then the North Flight Martini is Sky Vodka, de Kuiper,
Go with it.
Pucker, Sour Apple, Monin, Granny Smith Apple, and Sweet and Sour.
So it's a sour apple martini. Also, not something...
Like bright green, that I wouldn't want... I'd be almost embarrassed to have that come to the table.
I saw North Flight Martini and did not read the description. I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like some amazing martini, but with some maybe herbal elderflower, herbal type, stuff going on, like more herbal than regular
none of these
gin.
seem very specialty. I mean, they seem like specialty cocktails at a bar, but
yeah.
Ooh, I think they could have done better. The Lodge Fizz is Grey Goose vodka, triple sec cranberry juice, and Sprite.
The Cape Codder with some triple spec. Cape Codder with triple sec and Sprite.
Or cranberry and vodka to anyone else in the world. And then a Grand Martini.
Margarita.
What? A Grand Margarita, which is Grey Goose vodka, triple sec, cranberry juice, and Sprite. What?
So
the Lodge Fizz and the Grand Margarita are literally the exact same drink. Do you see that? But the Grand Margarita is 50 cents more.
So I'm guessing that somewhere
I think
along
the Lodge
those...
Fizz probably is not that.
Yes.
I think that's probably definitely the Grand Margarita.
Yes. So something's messed up
Or
typo-wise.
Instead of Grey Goose vodka, it's tequila.
That would make sense.
And probably maybe or a Grand Marnier in it somewhere. I don't know.
So cranberries. If there's actually both cranberries in both of these, I know around here we have
I'm sure it's probably Ocean Spray cranberry juice.
Oh yeah, I know around here we have a lot of cranberries. It's like cranberry bogs. It's a thing. But I believe also on the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of whole cranberry growing situation going on over there. So that's an interesting pull in. But yeah, the specialty cocktails don't seem to fit with the atmosphere. They have, did you want to say anything else about the cocktails? They have their featured wines. I'm sure they have more than just these 6, but they have an Argyle Brut Sparkling Wine from Willamette Valley, a Solena Pinot Gris from Oregon, L'Ecole 41 Nom Chardonnay from Columbia Valley, Milbrunt Merlot from Wahluke Slope, Rocco Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley, and Caderetta Cabernet Sauvignon from Columbia Valley. So pretty much, for the most part, Pacific Northwest wines, which is good. It's supposed to be Pacific Northwest in theme. And allergy-friendly offering menu available upon request.
We'll be requesting those from now on.
Yes. Whether we order off of them is a different story, but we do want to request the allergy-friendly menus and just say, hey, we would like to take a picture of them.
All right, so that is everything. So overall, the food
is excellent.
Was delicious. We highly recommend it. But I guess don't get your hopes up about the atmosphere. Unless you're going during the day, and then tell us all about it. because it was super delicious. It just didn't strike us as signature.
It was an excellent meal. I feel like our memories of it are a little bit tainted because we just were so underwhelmed and like slightly confused about the atmosphere. But I can remember very distinctly leaving and both of us saying to each other, so the food was amazing. The food was really good, but what was going on in there? It just didn't feel like a Disney signature restaurant to us. As we said, maybe we went at the wrong time, but we'll let you know next time we go.
Yeah. This one's definitely something that we can have a do-over. And we'll update you and let you know. Maybe it'll be an Amy's Daily Dish. So this week's fan favorite food comes from Kevin Fairley?
Yes, you got that correctly.
Sweet. Who is one of Amy's employees, and she basically told him that she'd fire him if he didn't write us a Disney food memory.
I did not say that.
I'm just kidding.
No,
so Kevin wanted to share a Disney food memory with me, a Disney food memory with us because he's listened to our podcast and wanted to contribute. It's been a while since I've been to Disney World. I'm going on 10 years this upcoming February, but there are still a few moments from my trip and my stay at the Beach Club Resort that have stuck with me since. I was 9 years old, and staying in a resort as nice as the Beach Club was incredibly fun, but there was one feature in particular that really caught my attention. The first thing I noticed when I walked in was the pool in the back of the resort. Once my bags were delivered to my room, I quickly put on my bathing suit and headed to the pool area to go swimming. The first thing I noticed was that there were ducks swimming in the pool, which was enough to make me never want to get out of the pool. But another feature quickly caught my attention. My first step off the steps leading into the pool resulted in the shock of me realizing that this pool's floor was covered in sand. So being the 9-year-old that I was, I quickly tried digging to the bottom of the pool, but ran out of breath. And once I returned to the surface, I was quickly reprimanded by the lifeguard. During that trip, we went to a different park every day, and they stood out to me for different things. The Animal Kingdom was one that did not really wow me, but I still have one memory from the park that I believe Amy and Julie will appreciate for the One Little Spice podcast. Prior to going on Expedition Everest roller coaster, I said to my mom that I was hungry and wanted to eat, and luckily for me, there are small carts across all of the Disney parks. I chose to eat a frozen chocolate-covered banana because although I had heard of them on TV, growing up I had never had one, so my interest was sparked. I bit into it and liked it, but quickly had to get in line for Expedition Everest, where I had my eyes closed the entire time.
He says on a regular basis when I talk about Disney that he absolutely regrets closing his eyes during Expedition Everest.
Next time you go, man, keep your eyes open.
And I am absolutely going to get to the bottom of that sand-covered pool when we someday stay at the Beach Club.
Haha, We have also had said frozen banana. Finally, it took us like 4 trips with it pinpointed in our spreadsheet to actually get it, but we did finally get it, and it was amazing, and it was super delicious. So we totally understand how delicious it was.
Yes.
But I hope you finished it after you rode Expedition Everest.
He probably had it in line.
No, he said he took a bite and then he had to run into line.
Oh, okay.
Amy, were you even listening to his story? If you want to share your favorite Disney food memory and be featured on one of our episodes, please send your stories to onelittlespice@gmail.com or share your story in the comment section of our pinned Facebook post. You will see that right at the top of the page. You can follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at One Little Spice. On Instagram, we're at @1_little_spice. And on Facebook, we are One Little Spice. And then make sure you join our One Little Spice group on Facebook to talk about each episode and all things Disney food. There are 3 questions to answer once you hit join. It's just so we can learn even more about our fans. If you have any thoughts or comments to add to our upcoming podcasts, share on social media, or please email us at onelittlespice@gmail.com. Literally, anything you have to say. Yeah, let us know. You can join us on Patreon for exclusive access to the Magical Snack Corner, which is our bi-monthly episode about Disney snacks. Now, this is amazing because we just started our 9-episode series about food and wine, where we go in depth about each of the booths and the food that they have at each of the booths, and we also give you a lot of really awesome tips and trips on how to really enjoy your experience at the Food and Wine Festival. To get access to those, head to www.patreon.com/onelittlespice and choose your support level. By choosing the Mickey Cake Pop level and higher, you get access to Magical Snack Corner. There are other tiers where you can get a chance to host a Magical Snack Corner with us, a live monthly Google Hangout, and so much more. So please head over there. Again, it's www.patreon.com/onelittlespice and choose your support level. By supporting us on Patreon, you are helping us to bring you even more awesome Disney food content more often, and you get those awesome extras when we reach our first goal, and we are so close. So thank you so much to our patrons so far. We can start creating our website where we can give you even more Disney food information all in one place. We'll be able to share all of our food pictures and stories there and hear from you too. And we've got some really great ideas for this website, so we were really excited to start building it for you guys. We're on TeePublic. You can search One Little Spice or click the link in the description. We have t-shirts, mugs, cell phone cases, and more. So that is another awesome way to show your One Little Spice support. We are on YouTube, and on YouTube we are the Taste Lab. We have 2 Taste Labs already out. One is from Acker's House, where we recreate the vegetable terrine that Amy had on our first trip, and it came out amazing. And then our first episode was how to make Le Cellier's cheddar cheese soup. We also make it into poutine. It was awesome. Make sure you subscribe to that so you don't miss out on any of the episodes, because we have a couple coming out soon. We have a Moroccan 7-vegetable couscous from restaurant Marrakesh, and then we also have the chopped Cobb salad from the Hollywood Brown Derby. So we're really excited to share those with you, and make sure that you share pictures and tell us what you think if you make them at home. We're really just trying to help you bring some Disney magic into your kitchen. That is all that we have for today. Thank you so much for listening, and just remember, every recipe starts with one little spice. Start again. Pause after you say item 1. Be more excited. Item 1. Amy, are you ready? I started singing to my dog, "Do you want to build a snowman?" every time we go for a walk. Gotcha.
Served in a small, oh my goodness, cat iron skillet.
I love my cat iron skillet.
They're served in small cast iron. May your fromage rain down upon me.
Hand-carved oysters.
Harvested.
Jeff Goldblum has a bug bite on his cheek.
I noticed
And I
when you
can't
were
scratch
scratching it.
It's almost 8 o'clock.
I know.
Why calling us?